What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the Opinionated Hippie, continuing my deep dive into the live Jethro Tull catalog. I'm going to discuss a concert that was released as part of the Stormwatch 40th anniversary box set that came out on the 40th anniversary of Stormwatch. And this is a concert from the Netherlands, from the Haag, Den Haag, 1980, March 16th. Took two discs, discs 3 and 4 in that box set. Complete show. Fantastic show. Fantastic inclusion. A really strong piece of evidence in the case that these type of retrospective releases, Bob Dylan does it incredibly well, should feature complete live shows from the era of the album it is. I think it sheds new light on the songs from the album, on the artist. It's just fun to hear. Just a win-win-win all around. Band is fantastic. We have two keyboardists. Both Evan and Palmer are here. Peg is on bass, so we get a couple Fairport Convention covers. And then we have Barlow, Barr, and Anderson also here. Just a fantastic show. I have complaints about it, but I don't think my complaints undercut my enjoyment of it. Just are an argument for how I think this show could have been better. Doesn't have anything to do with the performances themselves, but I think the sequencing of the songs could have been better done by Tull to create more of a less sort of start, stop, like less awkward journey. I don't think the flow is the best flow in the world, though I really have no complaints about the songs that are on here. The first disc is the first 12 songs, plus you get the sort of instrumental interlude, the sort of fanfare prelude to a storm that opens up the show. And they open up the show with 7 straight songs from Stormwatch. Bold choice. I've seen bands do this before. I'm not a big fan of this move of like front loading, like especially when there's nothing else there. Not because I don't particularly like the songs from the album, but it does kind of maybe rob you of the suspense that later in the show they're going to drop another Stormwatch song, so you don't really get like it's. I think it's always interesting to hear like maybe let's take Jethro Tull for example. Maybe a song from Thick as a Brick, followed by a Stormwatch song, followed by an Aqualung song, followed by a Minstrel song, followed by another Stormwatch song. I think that like the way you surround songs can bring out better parts of them. They do rearrange the order of them, so it's not like they're just playing 7 songs in a row like on the album. But I do think even within these 7 songs, I think the order could be better, but I also think some of the pairings are fantastic. So that you get the prelude to a storm, and that goes right into Dark Ages. Big fan of Dark Ages as an opener. I like going for a long, ambitious, epic number, very proggy, kind of a dark and aggressive, but not too dark and aggressive. Moody at times, but not too moody at times. So they're neither too high nor too low. It's a really good introduction, but it's a long introduction. So the band gets a chance to warm up, to flex their muscles, to really get into the show. Home follows. I don't like the start here, bring it down almost immediately. Tull does that often in their set list. I don't think that's a good play. I think it should be like Dark Ages and another like kind of heavy hitter. I think it's a better opening 1-2 punch. But Home sounds great, piano-y. At times as they get towards the end and Anderson's vocals are really like committing to the song, I'm almost getting like Leonard Skinner ballad vibes, and I mean that as a compliment. It works really well. We then get Orion, and I think Orion should have followed Dark Ages. I think that would have been a better 1-2 punch, and then Home. Orion sounds great. It's kind of big and aggressive, but you have like these nice gentle parts throughout it that I think you have Dark Ages, kind of more consistently aggressive, Orion with aggression, then a little bit of soft parts, and then Home indulging in the soft parts. I think that balance works better. But but it sounds great. Barr's guitar playing in Orion, as it is throughout all these songs, is absolutely fantastic. Then we get like the trippy vocal weirdness, and then that goes into Dun Ring Hill. Again, don't like this aggression, softer, though Dun Ring Hill sounds good. Get the ocean sounds played over the, played over the speakers as part of the song. Then we go into Elegy, which is the closing track on the album, which is this instrumental that very much sounds like a closing song. It's a weird place to put it. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of it being in this spot. I have thoughts on where I think it should be. Like, I think it would have been great had they dropped it in the encore. I think that would have even worked better. But it's interesting coming after Dun Ring Hill. It's just a little too moody and not aggressive enough to have this early in the show. Then we get Old Ghost, which coming out of Elegy sounds fantastic. Like the pairing of Home and Orion, even though I don't wish Home was there, are fantastic. The pairing of Elegy and Old Ghost, even though I wish Elegy wasn't there, fantastic. Like the energy of Old Ghost coming out of there, just absolutely amazing. Kind of a shorter, tighter version of the album version. And then the last of the songs from Stormwatch is Something's on the Move. Great rock riff, upbeat, driving, great conclusion to the Stormwatch stuff. Just really great energy. I like these 7 songs. I think I have a deeper love of the album because of these performances. This is the order I would have done it, though, and I think this works better. As you open up with Elegy, bold move, just start like that. Do that Pearl Jam thing. Go soft and ballady and kind of a little more beautiful early on. Go Elegy. Then let Old Ghosts come out of that because that was a great segue. Then drop your Dark Ages. Then give us like the 8.5-minute song. Still need that kind of early. I like pushing that early. Then after Dark Ages, still have Orion. So you're kind of like starting, you're peaking up in the energy, kind of come down with Orion. You do Home, you do Dun Ring Hill, and then you end with Something's on the Move. And it's just, I think it's a better little like roller coaster flow. Either way, that's a minor quibble. Fascinating start. After that, we get an Aqualung. And the energy in Aqualung is perfect. It's not an end of the show energy. It's not a let's leave it all out there energy. It's like, let's just play this really good song really well energy. Love the choice of Aqualung. Kind of bring things down for a couple songs. We get Peggy's Pub, Dave Pegg, Fairport Convention song, jaunty acoustic little instrumental. We get Jack in the Green, as Ian Anderson says, we continue in this rural vein. And then we get a cover of a song, King Henry's Madrigal, that was written by King Henry VIII, the full rock version of this. And somehow it is surprisingly good and it really, really works. And they have made this King Henry VIII song into something that's kind of a rock. It just kind of works. It's really good. The keyboards, the energy, I don't know, fantastic. There's a drum solo in there. I'm not a fan of drum solos. We return to the song. But then, as the song ends, we kind of get a reprise of the song, and then just out of nowhere, we're in Heavy Horses. We're just right in the vocal part of Heavy Horses. We don't get the opening dun 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 part, but yeah, we're all of a sudden in the middle of Heavy Horses. Fantastic song choice. Absolutely love it. Great decision. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. The segue is friggin' amazing. And that's CD1. Great, great first half of the show. Second half of the show, the rest of the show continues on the second CD. We start off with a flute solo section, and I'm always not really a big fan of the flute solo sections when they begin. Because I'm like, can we just have a song? But they start off with the flute solo, and we get several minutes of Ian Anderson by himself doing the flute thing. He's got the effects on it and the delay and all that stuff that he does. Really good energy. You know, he's in it. He's doing his vocal stuff when he plays. Then we drop into a pretty short full band version of Beret. Then we go into something called Soiree, which is like a completely disco jig flute-led little jam that's amazing. And then we go into a fantastic heavy version, like full band version of God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. And then we go on to Kelpie, which was recorded during Stormwatch but left off the album, an instrumental. It's 8 minutes of just heaven. I think the only part that I don't really need is the just the flute soloing in the beginning. I wish they would just do the beret and then do the medley of other songs. But by the end of it, I'm completely won over. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a win. They follow that up with a keyboard duet. There's a Bach cover, and it's very keyboardy, very Bach-y, and then at the end of this, things get a little bit heavy, and before you know it, don't know how we got there. We're right in the middle of Songs from the Wood and like the heavy instrumental proggy part. We're just there. Another just absolutely brilliant segue, inspired segue. Would I prefer a full version of Heavy Horses? Would I prefer a full version of Songs from the Wood? Yes. But if they're not going to give me that, the way that these songs segue out of like King Henry's Madrigal, the way it segues out of the keyboard duet, inspired, well done, perfect, just really, really fun, good listen. Just absolutely love it. And it seems to have a modern bite to it. They're flexing their muscles here. This is a song like I would really like to hear, like especially like the instrumental portion of this. Hear something like Zappa's 82 band tackling like the second half of Songs from the Wood. It just sounds so good. That's followed by Hunting Girl. Fantastic choice. The band sounds eager. They're locked into this. Probably the best Hunting Girl I've heard so far as the live versions go. Absolutely amazing. Next we get another Fairport Convention song, Jams, O'Donnell's Jigs. Peg gets on the microphone and urges people to get up and dance. It's a really nice, hard rocking jig number. Nice bar solo in there. Just a really cool song. A win of a song. And then from here on out, the rest of the show is essentially kind of a greatest hits run with like songs paired up, kind of, and all slightly shortened just a little bit. We're not getting like the fully extended versions we would get on other releases, but they're all played incredibly well. We get a Thick as a Brick. It's essentially the version we've always had, but they've taken out the poet and the painter. So we get first part of part one. We go into the From the Upper Class part. We have the finale. Then we get, I think that's the end of maybe the main set. Then we get a Too Old to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die. And at the end of that, this unnecessary sax solo comes in and things get a little bit crazy and heavy. And next thing you know, we're in the middle of Cross-Eyed Mary. Another absolutely inspired, absolutely beautiful segue that completely makes the fact that these two songs are slightly shorter. I'm okay with that. It's brilliant. Then I think we get another break. Then they come back and Barr gets a guitar solo where he's soloing, they're jamming. It's like dramatic, it's beautiful, it's melodic, it's funky. It's kind of like all over the place, a little Hendrixy action. He's just laying out his bona fides all over the place. And then as he's starting to shred, all of a sudden, next thing you know, we're in the middle of Minstrel in the Gallery. We're just in that heavy part of Minstrel in the Gallery. And we get like 3 minutes of that. But again, don't get the beginning part of the song, as we didn't get with Heavy Horses, as we didn't get with Songs from the Wood. We just end up right in the meat of things, right in the middle of the action, as if we're sleepwalking and we wake up and like, wow, how did I get here? But it's fun and it's kind of cool. And if they have a limited amount of time and they can only play parts of these songs, this is the way to do it. Then we get a Locomotive Breath. I think that then goes into a Locomotive Breath. Really great energy in this. We don't get the really long, dramatic intro. We just get we're jamming along intro, drop into a Locomotive Breath, and then we finish out the whole thing, as usual in this era, with a Dam Busters March. This is a fun show. I think the Stormwatch stuff in the beginning sounds fantastic. The segues are amazing. Yes, would I like to hear different songs than the ones that are kind of popping up on every release? Yeah, but I'm not going to complain because these versions, bar none, are all fantastic. And the stuff that is different, the Fairport Convention songs, The deep cuts off Stormwatch that didn't make the album that eventually would be released, those are all fun. Everybody's playing fantastic. The sound is amazing. The band sounds amazing. I highly, highly recommend. This makes the box set worth it, if you ask me. Plus the whole second disc of like stuff that didn't make it. Where would I rank this? If I had to rank it among the other Jethro Tull albums I've done, I have it at number 3. Bursting Out still at number 1. That Live at Carnegie Hall, mainly because that's from 70, so it's going to be a 2. But this is a solid, solid 3. Absolutely love this show. Absolutely love this release. So much fun. Yeah, highly, highly recommend this. Find it, listen to it, enjoy it. Jethro Tull's killing it in the 80s, or at least in 1980. Good stuff. And that's all I got. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Let me know your thoughts on this fantastic release. And go listen to Jethro Tull, people. Go listen to this live stuff. It's a win. It's a win, people. All right, that's all I got. Peace. Talk to you later.